Introduction: Tracking the millions of square feet at Texas A&M and the Space Inventory Survey process. Let's jump right into this explainer. Have you ever actually stopped to think about what it takes to map and track a major university's facilities? I mean, it is way more complex than just printing out a campus map. Today, we're unpacking the sheer logistics, the data, the codes, and the massive human coordination required to keep a university space inventory accurate and compliant. To really wrap our heads around the scale here, just look at this number: over 29 million. But let's be precise: 29,141,488 square feet of enclosed space across Texas A&M University and the affiliated state agencies. We aren't just talking about a couple of main lecture halls, We're talking about a massive ecosystem. Everything from high-tech labs and classrooms to maintenance sheds, farm services, even field equipment storage. It literally all has to be meticulously documented. And what's absolutely fascinating is how that massive footprint breaks down. We're looking at 76,327 distinct trackable rooms. Every single one of those is a fundamental unit of analysis. They all have to be mapped, categorized, and continuously monitored for state and federal reporting. Just imagine the logistical puzzle of keeping all of that up to date.
So here is our agenda for this explainer. We'll cover the scope of FAM, anatomy of a room and function codes, the survey process, the future space survey. Starting with Section 1, the scope of FAM, mapping Texas A&M. So the organization orchestrating this whole operation is Facilities Analytics and Mapping, or FAM for short. Now, FAM isn't just some reporting group. They are essentially the official cartographers of the university, the official keepers of the campus base map and space data. We're talking building records, 3D building models, floor plans, and the entire room inventory. They manage all of this using a really powerful software system called Archibus, and this data is absolutely crucial. It supports operational decisions and handles all the required state and federal space use reporting across 12 system parts, besides just Texas A&M University, including AgriLife Research, the Engineering Experiment Station, Transportation Institute, Forest Service, and the Division of Emergency Management. Moving on to Section 2. Anatomy of a room beyond four walls. Okay, so here is a really crucial distinction in terminology. If you work in a specific lab or office, your department doesn't actually own that space. It's simply assigned to you. Legal ownership typically lives at the building level, with the broader system part, like the university itself, or maybe an external entity if it's a leased space. Departments get assigned these spaces to do their work, and tracking that distinction is vital for accountability.
Now, because of that operational focus, a room in this database doesn't always have four physical walls. FAM uses these logically bounded virtual rooms. For example, picture an open reception desk or cubicle in a big lobby. FAM carves that out using invisible ghost walls and counts it as a distinct room. Or a tiny 20-square-foot IT panel area inside a mechanical room. Yep, that gets its own record too. Even segments of a long hallway divided by fire doors or other logical breaks are tracked separately. It's all about tracking operationally meaningful space, not just what's enclosed by drywall.
Which brings us to Section 3, Room and Function Codes, Granular Data Tracking.
Once we know what a room is, we have to code exactly what happens inside it, and it gets incredibly granular. FAM starts with the state standard, the 3-digit space use codes defined by the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, called THECB for short. These space use codes reflect different room types, such as classrooms, laboratories, conference rooms, offices, and office support spaces. But that's just not detailed enough for day-to-day campus operations. So FAM tacks on a fourth alphanumeric character to capture hyper-local details. The state might just see code 310 for an office, but FAM uses 310A for an executive administrator office, 310B for a faculty office, and 310C for a staff office. Then, when it's time to report to the state, they just strip off that fourth character to match the statewide standard. Pretty clever, right?
But wait, it goes deeper. Beyond the physical room type, we have function category codes. These document the actual activity happening in the space. University operations are messy and shared, so a single room can actually carry up to 3 different function codes to represent prorated usage. And each of those codes gets paired with a specific A&M system part and a specific percentage allocation. When prorating activities that happen in a room, think about the time breakdown of each activity, rather than a breakdown of the room's square footage. We like to say, for example, that we're using 100% of this office for individual research, 25% of the time, so individual research gets a prorate of 25%. Now here's the golden rule for these percentages. These function codes are peers. There's no primary or secondary ranking here. Let's say you have a faculty office. It might be coded as 25% research for AgriLife, 25% individual project research for the main university, and 50% general academic instruction, because those are all the activities it is used for. The absolute non-negotiable rule is that those percentages must sum to exactly 100%. This is how FAM perfectly captures shared and mixed uses without losing any of that auditable detail. Next up, Section 4, the survey process, maintaining accuracy. So how do we keep 76,000 rooms accurate year after year? It takes a massive human workflow, specifically the Summer Space Inventory Survey. The survey snapshot follows a very exact journey. FAM initiates it by taking a snapshot in Archibus of all rooms currently assigned to a department. That digital package gets handed off directly to the department's designated space certifier. From there, it can be passed down to reviewers, updated, and then it has to travel all the way back up the chain to be certified and returned to FAM. A PDF of this flowchart is available on FAM's Survey Resources page. If you are a space certifier, your role is absolutely critical. You are the primary point of contact in Archibus. You receive the survey, oversee the review of your department's space, and here's the kicker. You are literally the only person who can formally submit that finished certified survey back to FAM by the deadline. It's a huge responsibility. But hey, certifiers don't have to do it alone. It's not likely they know the day-to-day research happening in every single lab, right? So certifiers can decentralize the process. They assign the survey to reviewers. These are the departmental experts, like lab managers or admins, who intimately know the functional codes and what's actually going on in those rooms. A reviewer can even pass it to another reviewer if they need to, before kicking it back up to the certifier. And to make this whole thing way more efficient, you don't even have to wait for the formal survey. Certifiers and reviewers can use Archibus tools like the Space by Department self-service report whenever they want. This lets you click right into a room to see its attributes, types, and functional allocations. You can easily filter the data, like just type a % symbol to hide zero-value rows and export the whole shebang to Excel for an offline review. It really empowers departments to keep their data clean year-round. Finally, Section 5, the Future Space Survey Process Enhancements. Looking ahead, FAM is working on evolving this massive undertaking. They are exploring a 1-2 punch enhancement. Step 1 would be a building-level survey sent to facility coordinators just to verify which department is assigned to which room to get that baseline cleanup first. Then Step 2 kicks in, sending the department-level surveys to the certifiers and reviewers to check all those granular room types and function codes. It's a brilliant sequence because it separates building-level knowledge from departmental knowledge, which should pretty much eliminate role confusion and really boost data quality.
It's honestly incredible how much organized information is required to make a university function on a physical level. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. When you look around your assigned workspace, what invisible lines, 4 character codes, and precise space functional percentages are defining the space you are sitting in right now?
For more information, visit facilities.tamu.edu and look for FAM's resource section about the space inventory. Thanks. and gig 'em.